I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. When you've lost certain Fox hosts as a MAGA Republican, it just shows you how incompetent you even are at your own deranged conspiracy theories. And you have some Fox hosts now who are basically saying, to these MAGA Republicans, all right, you've been having us put out this propaganda narrative that President Joe Biden's committed all of these crimes, but you haven't explained what the crime is. So even Fox hosts are turning against MAGA Republicans, and some of the other Fox hosts are just kind of confused. But MAGA Republicans like James Comer, who was the chair of the House Oversight Committee, and Jim Jordan, who heads the Judiciary Committee, they're like, well, we're going full speed ahead in impeaching Joe Biden, even though we don't have any evidence of any actual crime. So here's one of the first videos. This is from Fox and Friends, where host Steve Doocy basically says, all right, you've said all these things about Joe Biden. Like, what is the actual crime? Show me the facts. And then you'll see one of the co-hosts are like, there's a lot of smoke here. There's a lot of smoke here. So there doesn't need to be. That's enough. Play this clip of Steve Doocy from Fox and Friends.
I've heard the numbers, a lot of the numbers in a broad way from the Republicans. And yesterday they gave us more bank records. But you know what? With all due respect, the Republicans need better investigators because they've got a lot of circumstantial evidence, but they have not shown that Joe Biden profited personally,
they're doing
or
great.
that he broke any rules.
I vehemently disagree.
It's all circumstantial.
This is
Brian?
so. No, let me finish. But this is funneling right to him at a rapid pace. They've had this job for about 8 months. What's
funneling it? Him?
Everything is
money funneling it.
Is Joe involved? Is Joe's presence involved in every major business deal that Hunter was involved in? As Andy McCarthy said, Joe was the business. He had the access. Right. Hunter didn't. So Hunter didn't have the reputation. It's leading right there.
Brian, what laws did Joe Biden break?
If the American people knew.
Just answer the question. What law did he break?
Number one,
and I want to show you this interview with a MAGA Republican member of Congress who basically says, we never claim, this is what the MAGA Republicans is, we never claimed that there was any direct money that went to Joe Biden. Yeah, you did. That's all you've been claiming. You've been saying that Joe Biden received money and committed crimes. There was 17 audio recordings, fake. There was all these whistleblowers, dead, missing, spies of China, Russian oligarch. Okay, lie after lie after lie. So pathetic. And look, I'm glad this Fox reporter calls out this MAGA Republican. Play the clip.
Well, we've never claimed that we have direct money going to the president, but many members of his family have received money from foreign governments. And this is something that is very important for the American people to know. We haven't been at this for 2 years. The House Oversight Committee, we didn't take the majority as Republicans until January of this year. This investigation has been going on now for 8 months, and we've accomplished more in 8 months than it's taken some entities years to achieve. The banking records speak for themselves. I mean, no one does business like this unless you're up to no good, where you're creating 20 different shell companies, swirling the money around as it comes in from foreign entities, and then transferring out to family members. Here is a family where
can I just follow up
none
with you
of the
on a point?
members have scalable skills or background.
I want to just follow up with you, sir, on a point you made a moment ago, which is you said we never claimed that any money was funneled directly to the president. That is precisely the claim that the chairman of your committee, James Comer, and also Jim Jordan have made many times on the public record.
We are putting an investigation together.
So then in typical MAGA Republican fashion, you have certain hosts like Kayleigh McEnany, who Donald Trump calls milquetoast Kayleigh, and she's just okay with that because they have no self-respect and they just allow themselves to be bullied by this sociopathic, malignant, narcissistic criminal traitor in Donald Trump. But here you have Kayleigh McEnany says, we don't need any actual crimes. A crime doesn't have to be committed. If it just looks like corruption, that's enough. That's actually an argument that MAGA Republicans are making, that if you have somebody in your family who is somehow connected to something that looks shady, that you should be what? That you should be impeached, that's corruption. What are you even talking about? Here, play this clip of Kayleigh McEnany.
We're listening to is what we call the raising of the bar defense. So, Jessica, you said it's no big deal, the Devon Archer testimony. Well, okay, Biden has repeatedly said since the campaign trail, I never spoke to my son about his business dealings. Well, we learned from Devon Archer, he spoke to him 20 times. He was on speakerphone. He attended meetings that the White House told us he was never present at, the 2015 meeting at Cafe Milano. So when you say it's not a big deal, you're saying it's not a big deal that the president of the United States lies. Then you say, okay, no crime was committed here. Again, you're raising the bar. A crime doesn't have to be committed here. The whole point is that this is corruption. The American people see this and say, this stinks. Hunter gets.
So all of that happened fairly recently. And so this interview happened fairly recently as well, as James Comer, who was the, I don't want to use the word mastermind because there's nothing master about this except the masterful stupidity here. But here we have James Comer, MAGA Republican, basically, who's like, yeah, let's impeach him. Let's just impeach him. And what I've seen is worse than Donald Trump. And I'm just like, are they really gaslighting us like this? Seriously? I mean, Donald Trump, who there's evidence had secret bank accounts in China, evidence of it. We have the actual documents. Donald Trump, whose son-in-law and daughter made $640 million while in the White House, and Kushner received $2 billion from the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund after MBS, the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, said he has Jared Kushner in his pocket, and that allegedly Jared Kushner gave MBS a kill list of Saudi Arabia's enemies, where Kushner couldn't even get a security clearance, but nonetheless was put in charge of Middle East policy by Donald Trump. Donald Trump, who engages in criminality every single day, who stole classified information, who led an insurrection, who continues to post QAnon and threatening messages every day. The MAGA Republicans are like, oh, yeah. Well, there seems to be a lot of smoke around here. So we're going to impeach Biden. Seriously? Play this clip of James Comer.
I got 15 seconds left. Mitch McConnell is from your same state. I'm sure you know him quite well. He says we should not be looking to impeach Joe Biden. After seeing all of this is not impeachable. What planet is Mitch McConnell on right now?
Well, I would certainly vote to impeach, and I think we've seen that there's already been a whole lot more wrongdoing proven on Joe Biden than ever was with Donald Trump with that first impeachment with respect to him just asking about corruption in Ukraine.
Yeah, well said. Congressman Comer, always good to have you, sir.
This episode of the MeidasTouch podcast is brought to you by Manacora Honey. Now, when I say the word honey, you might be thinking of that stuff that comes in the plastic bear-shaped bottle at the supermarket. Well, this is nothing like that. Manacora makes Manuka honey, a super honey that comes from New Zealand, where the bees only feed on the nectar of the Manuka tea tree, making something that's rich and with a creamier texture that's unlike anything you've ever had before. You can use it just like honey you're used to, but Manuka honey is super because it also contains unique antioxidants and prebiotics, as well as a natural antibacterial compound called MGO that only comes from the nectar of this tea tree. These nutrients support optimal immune and digestive health, so it's a win-win. You can continue to use honey in all the ways that you know and love, and you can enjoy all of the health benefits of the MGO as well. Manacora sent me a jar and a squeeze bottle of their 850 plus MGO Manuka honey, their best-selling product, and it's phenomenal. The 850 plus honey has the creamy caramel texture that melts in your mouth, and it's unlike anything I've ever had. I can grab a spoonful out of the jar and put it in my favorite beverage, or squeeze some honey out on some toast or oatmeal. It's delicious. Each morning, I start my day with a spoonful of Manuka honey, and it is a game changer. Now, if you head to manacora.com/Meidas or use code Meidas, you'll automatically get an extra free pack of the 850 plus honey sticks with your order. That's a $15 value. Now, I love the jar. I love the squeeze bottle, but the extra pack of compostable honey sticks is a perfect game-changing move for whenever you're on the go. You can bring them with you when you're traveling, or when you need a quick snack or running quick errands, or if you need an energy boost if you're on a run or at the gym. That's manukora.com/Meidas MeidasTouch.com/Meidas or use code Meidas to get free pack of compostable honey sticks with your order. You haven't tasted or seen honey like this before, so indulge and try some honey with superpowers from Manacora.
You know, and this goes back to the interview a few weeks ago where you had James Comer and Jim Jordan. They went on Fox and they said, Hannity asked, do you believe this is officially this Joe Biden allegation? Do you believe that you'll be able to prove it, right? The allegation being that Joe Biden actually received a bribe, that he actually received money. And their response was, well, everybody's presumed innocent, or yes, we have evidence, or their response was, we hope so, is what they said. They said, we hope so. That is a clown show, fascist clown show, because I don't want to offend clowns. That is a fascist clown show answer. What are you talking about? You hope so? There's either evidence that supports a crime or there's not evidence that supports a crime. And you can't just keep on lying and making up fake evidence that doesn't exist and treat the American people like we're stupid. We know what you are doing. Here's Jim Jordan and James Comer. Play the clip.
No. Do you believe that this is now officially the Joe Biden bribery allegation? And do you believe that you will be able to prove that? Jim Comer.
I sure hope so. And I do believe that there's a lot of smoke. And where there's smoke, there's fire. We just heard testimony today that Joe Biden had lied to the American people.
Jim.
And folks, I've read before the deposition of Hunter Biden's business partner, former business partner, Devin Archer, who he responded he has no knowledge of any corruption by President Joe Biden. And then the MAGA Republicans lie about that, right? And they go, yeah, but when it comes to Devin Archer says that he was there when President Biden called Hunter Biden. President Biden's Hunter Biden's dad. I know that MAGA Republicans are the worst parents, specifically the worst dads ever, and maybe they just abandon their kids or don't call their kids. Yes, it is a normal thing for a dad to call their son, okay? So the fact that Joe Biden called Hunter Biden, that's not corruption, okay? And the fact that there are naked photos of Hunter Biden that MAGA Republicans want to show in committee hearings and show non-consensual nudes, that's not a crime either. It's just sickening that you are posting and sex shaming an individual. That's horrific and horrible. So no, the fact that Biden calls his son is not some bombshell blockbuster news. But here's the thing that I always go back to is, look, if MAGA Republicans actually had evidence, if they had 17 audio recordings, right? The way that there is 10,000 pieces more, 1 million pieces of evidence against Donald Trump, actual evidence, documents, audio recordings, photographs, so on and so forth, emails. You know, we have the actual evidence, videos, we have all the evidence. If there was audio recordings of Joe Biden while he was vice president or whenever, taking bribes, trying to influence business deals, engaged in, using his position to threaten people. If there was stuff like that and you had these recordings, the 17, I would be pissed at Biden for doing that. I wouldn't just be like, well, I'm a Democrat, so therefore I have to support him. No, I want to see if there's evidence of criminality. That is a serious allegation to make. That's why, by the way, there's something called defamation of character. If you're, and I know MAGA Republicans go, oh, well, we're immune from that because we're members of the House of Representatives. And so the Constitution protects us from defamation if we claim we're investigating. But no, what you are doing by spreading lies and making up allegations, you are undermining our judicial system. You are tearing apart our basic facts, basic investigative norms. And it's like, again, if that evidence existed, I'd be like, I want to hear it. Please show it to me. But then when you go, oh, we never said that there were actually audio recordings. You did. Oh, we never said there were crimes. Yes, you did. Oh, we never said that the whistleblower actually existed. Yeah, you did. You did. You absolutely did. And then the New York Post writes about it. And then Fox writes about the report from the newspaper that Murdoch owns. And then large legacy medias write about it and treat these things as real stories. And then you have some narrative out there that tries to create some moral equivalence difference between Donald Trump's traitorous criminality and President Joe Biden, who's out there promoting the freaking PACT Act and the CHIPS Act and the Infrastructure Act and trying to actually do things for the American people. It's lazy media. It is defamatory and fascist-driven MAGA Republican crap on full display. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Go to MeidasTouch.com, the new home of all things MeidasTouch. That's MeidasTouch.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers, and subscribe to the MeidasTouch audio podcast. Have a great day.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.